Hi everyone and welcome to another edition of Realty Talk. Thanks for joining us this evening. Before we begin, a big thank you to Hitvan for sponsoring the furniture in our studio. What makes them different? You don't have to shop around. From Japandi calm to mid-century chic, Hitvan brings all the styles together in one place. Whether you're styling a new flat or refreshing a space, you'll find pieces that fit right in. Scan the QR code below to explore Hitvan and see how easy it is to elevate your home. 2025 isn't just another recovery year, it's shaping up to be a record breaker. In 9 months, new home sales have already topped all of 2024. And Q4 2025 is primed with 5 launches and 2,500 plus units on track for the strongest year since 2021. Tonight, our CEO Marcus Chu and KEO Eugene Lim will unpack for us what's fueling this surge and, more importantly, how you can ride the wave before the market resets in 2026. Without further ado, let's dive in and explore what's ahead.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for another segment of Realty Talk. Joining me today is Marcus Chu, our CEO. And so Marcus, welcome. Hello again.
Hello Eugene, hello everyone. Today our Realty Talks focus on this topic known as why wait for 2026 if you can capitalize on 2025 property momentum. Sound exciting, isn't it?
That's right. We are in the last window of the year. Sometimes should do something before the year ends.
Okay, before we get started,
Yes. For those of you who are new, you may want to follow ERA on social media. Please scan the QR code and you can just sign up for all the social media handles. Okay, Marcus, you and the team, you are conducting another session of IRM, Investor Realtor Masterclass, at MBS very shortly. Would you like to tell us more about it?
the masterclass is specially tailored for investor, but we call it Investor Realtor Masterclass because realtor are also investors. So we will touch base on market intelligence that is very grounded, that's what's very current, that will help investor make informed decisions based on our market analytics. Of course, it's this 2 full days training program focused on strategy that will guide any real estate investors into the know-how of making your money work harder for you. All right. And at the same time, we'll discover when is the time to upgrade without overstretching. And at the same time, you walk away with a very clear system, specific steps on how you can do it.
Sounds good. So if you have not signed up, don't miss this opportunity.
When is the date?
The date is 19 to 20th November at MBS, Marina Bay Sands.
Right on. There's also another initiative that we are doing, which is our My Dream Vacation campaign.
That's right. Sign up to be our ERA VIP, and every month we are giving away 10 lucky winners who will win travel vouchers worth $1,000 each, and to get a chance to travel to a destination of your choice within the ERA network of countries.
Right, which is within the ERA Asia Pacific region. Or you can scan this QR code here and become our ERA VIPs and stand a chance to win your dream vacation. Of course, next.
Okay, research and market information, market intelligence is very important to guide you, to give you more information so that you can make informed decisions about investments in real estate.
So that's the QR code for you to scan to access into our market intelligence from our blogs.
Information we shared today serves as education and a guide to helping you shape your thinking into investment and real estate, but all investment carry risks. So please do your own risk analysis before jumping in.
So let's jump in right now to give you updates on Singapore economic performance. Eugene.
Okay, so Singapore's economy, we did very well, 2.9% growth year on year in the third quarter, primarily driven by manufacturing as well as the domestic sectors, and this has surpassed our forecasts. Our exports are the key drivers. We have increased the amount of exports to Asia Pacific countries, and in particular China, Japan, and all that, to make up for the drop in the decline in the US and European markets. So as we look around us, though we sometimes hear about staff turnover in certain industries and certain companies, the job market largely remains very tight. There's technically full employment, and salary growth, which is very important, remains very stable.
Actually, Eugene, why are we giving updates on Singapore economics performance?
I think economic fundamentals is a key important consideration. I mean, is the environment safe for you to get into the property market? And of course, it affects your the buying power and also
whether is it currently the right time to
buy and sell.
Position yourself in the property market.
Yeah.
And I suppose if you go into the wrong timing, is that the moment when you buy your property values will be affected if the economy is not doing well, or if there are a lot of major job losses due to whatever unprecedented events, and this will probably cause a dent in your wealth. And that's why it's so important to look at economic performance.
Certainly.
So far so good. Yes. Looks like all the economic forecast has been achieved, and at the same time, the job and salary growth is remaining stable.
Yes, so Singapore is certainly holding our ground very well.
Okay, so since we have just passed quarter 3 2025, can we have a quick review of the property markets?
Sure. So let's look at some of the segments. So in general, home prices continue to rise across all segments. So as we can see segment by segment, the non-landed segment in the third quarter went up by 1.1% compared to 0.7% in the previous quarter. So the landed market also went up in price, 1.4%, a bit slower than the previous quarter. And HDB, as we see it, has slowed down the price increase, 0.4% compared to 0.9%. But if we look at a 3-year growth, a non-landed has grown by almost 19%, right? And the landed has gone up close to 15%, and HDB over 3 years is still 22% increase in prices.
All right, so home prices continue to rise in Q3 2025 as compared to 2Q 2025.
The important point to note here is that while there is price movement, it is not volatile. The price movement is very steady.
All right, so let's dive into the specific market segment. All right, firstly, let's talk about the non-landed property prices, which are all the condominiums and apartments.
Yes, so for non-landed, the prices seem to be growing at a faster pace. Marcus would...
In 3Q.
Yes, in 3Q. So Marcus, would you want to share with us why this is so?
If we look at these numbers here, which is on a property price index of non-landed property, it means it's a composite of new and resale homes. All right, it's not just on resale home, or it's not just on new home, so it's a composite of both. And particularly because there are more new launches over this year, and 3Q, we see a lot of launches, and we also receive quite good take-up over all the launches. It actually helps to rise the property price index.
Yes.
Overall, it has grown because new home prices have reached another benchmark levels.
And I think also for those of us who are looking at resale market, when new home prices rise, I think the resale market prices, they also rise in tandem.
Talking about new sales, actually the new sales transaction volume has remained very strong. And it has, in fact, remains at as high as 3,289 units sold in the quarter.
Yes, I think if we compare with the previous quarter, you can see a significant change.
From 1,188 to 3,002 plus. Yes, we have seen almost triple growth. Okay, yes, we have seen that growth. And of course, all this also means that the resale market has also remained very stable.
Yes.
And these numbers actually went up by as much as 98.2%. All right, for both new and resale home numbers. It means that the 3Q 2025 transactions have actually rebounded from 2Q 2025 on the back of stronger new home launches. Okay.
Our new home sales is on a 4-year high.
So this year we have exceeded 9,300 new home transactions. That means
that's already more than last
year.
New
condo launches unit have sold more than 9,300. And this is higher than the 10-year average of 8,002. All right, having reached 9,003. And this year, our forecast by ERA is about 10,500. All right, we should be on our way there. Okay, it looks like we have hit 4 years high. The last high was in 2021, is 12,500. Okay, what about the take-up rates?
So, yeah, Marcus, so the recent project launches we can see in the news, they're all so well taken up.
So hot.
Yeah, so hot.
Very strong take-up rates.
Yeah.
For second half 2025 new launches.
Yes.
Okay, how many number of projects are there? 12. And what is the take-up rate? 85% take-up rate on average. And that is equal to about 4,008 number of units sold so far. And it's still counting. If we look at all the CCRO project, all right, all these CCRO project that has launched, amazingly, they have achieved very favorable take-up rates. As high as almost 100%, during the weekend launches. For example, Sky Holland, you have hit 99% on day one of booking. And at the same time, River Green have also exceeded 90%. All right. And our CR have also achieved fantastic take-up rates. If you take a look at Lindenwood, 99%. Similarly, Penrith, 97%. I mean, this kind of result is
Unheard of for a very long time.
yes. And it's amazing. It's like every region. Look at OCR. You have also exceeded 95% for Autoplace, EC, and also Springleaf Residence. This is very, very magnificent take-up rates. Okay, what about landed homes? It has rise slowly, but surely. And landed is always on constant demand. All right, for those who aspire to stay in the landed homes, all right, the good news is the prices has stabled and has not gapped up, but don't wait too long because I don't think you should lowball for landed property. Okay, prices are still rising and there's a constant demand for landed homes, All right, if you look at the tables that we have drawn out here, since 2Q 2024 till now, it's quite consistent demand. And every quarter, you will witness about 450 number of landed transactions.
Yes, so the numbers do tell us there's a constant demand.
Constant
for
demand,
landed.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's always when there's a seller, there's a buyer for landed home, as long as the price meets. All right, and price is creeping up, surely, and it's rising. Okay, so there you are. This is what's happening in the landed scene. And in a nutshell, for 3Q 2025, private residential market witnessed strong new home sales performance, very magnificent take-up rates. And the market itself, the whole real estate industry, property industry, currently is in a very positive market sentiment. Right? And we all know property market is driven by sentiment. And right now it's very positive sentiment, very good take-up rate. What would this mean?
That means increase in demand will drive prices further upstream, likely. So better to take action now if you're still sitting on the fence rather than wait.
Okay, let's talk about the HDB market. So it's a slower price growth with more BTO and sales of value flat supply.
Yes.
All right, let's look at the
If you
numbers.
look at the chart, HDB prices has risen for quite some time. Right, so it's always a concern of the government to stabilize HDB price increases, right? And so they have done so by increasing the supply of BTO flats and also the sale of balanced flats program. So you find that there's a bumper crop of new flats that were launched this year to balance up the hot demand, right?
Yeah, nevertheless, I mean, even though there is a lot of BTO flat that is launched, there's also a lot of resale transactions that has witnessed every quarter. If we look at every quarter, the resale transactions actually hover between 6,000 to 8,000. And for the whole of 2024, last year, the number of HDB resale transactions is about 29,000. This year, we forecast about 26 to 27,000, taking into consideration of more build-to-order flat and also sales of balanced flats. All right, so far last quarter, the quarter price increase for HDB resale is 0.4%, which is significantly lower than the last quarter. it only shows that the increase in BTO supply actually works to slow down price growth for HDB resale flat. Okay, let's dive into the MOP flats that is in the market. 2025 has one of the lowest MOP supply in this decade. This decade means 2020 to 2029.
Correct.
So that is this decade. So if we look at this decade here, all right, the expected MOP supply is like one of the lowest in 2025, because the other one is 2029. But next year onwards, looks like the number of MOP flat will continue to rise. So what this means is this year you see a more moderate rise in HDB resale prices, all right, because there is $1 million flat transactions coming from the MOP flats. But the following years, like 2026, 2027, and 2028, will also witness more MOP flats, which may cause
The price to go up.
price to creep up. Yeah, that's right. And that is what we forecast the next few years. All right. And this will bring very good support for the whole property market, because when the base is very well received by general, the market, basically it gives a lot of support for the next tail of property, which is private property.
That's correct. So it's always an aspiration of all HDB owners to upgrade.
Right, but of course, not every HDB resale flat is $1 million flat.
That's correct.
Won't you agree?
That's correct.
Actually, what is the number of...
Actually, if we look at the $1 million flat chart, the next one, though it has increased, you find that if you proportion it to the number of transactions in today's market, is about maybe 6 to 7% of total transactions only for $1 million flats. So it is not a huge number, though it is visible. These transactions are visible and it's increasing.
Earlier on, I said every quarter HDB resale transaction is about 6,000 to 8,000.
Yeah.
Let's round out to 7,000.
Yeah.
All right. So for 3 quarters, 7,000 is like 21,000, right? And over here, 3 quarters is 1,200. So if we take 1,200 divided by 21,000, that is like less than what? 5%? Yeah. So it's not representing the majority of resale flat transactions.
So majority of resale flat transactions are still within what we call the affordable price range, right? Of course, it has scaled upwards because in general, HDB prices have all gone up, but largely they remain affordable.
Right. So what is in a nutshell for HDB resale market?
In a nutshell, for the HDB resale market, we have fewer MOP units in 2025. We have more BTO and sale of balance flats supply. So these two things will impact HDB property prices. In a way, we will see slower price growth. Price is still increasing, but the impact of this effect is to slow down the rate of price increase. And also because of the more choice in the market for those, especially first-time home buyers, we may possibly see lower HDB resale transactions.
Mm-hmm. So where is Singapore property market heading now?
Okay, so let's look at the property time clock. Would you like to take us through where we are on this property time clock?
All right, they say that property market is cyclic. So if we talk about cyclic, that means there are seasons.
Yes.
All right, so what are the seasons in this property time clock? Is from 12 to 3 o'clock, we talk about slowdown. 3 to 6 o'clock is like slump time. 6 to 9 o'clock is like recovery time. And 9 to 12 o'clock is like boom time. So having said that is seasons, these are the 4 seasons. All right, where are we now?
Quite clearly in the boom time.
Okay, there are more buyers than seller. There are also rising valuation. So that is boom time. Yes, absolutely. This is what I've said in the end of last year, 2024. I talked about 2025, expect it to be a boom year for Singapore private housing market. And it's true. If we were to reflect back over the past few years, pre-COVID and post-COVID, all right, it really shows that there is a very clear trend. Okay, if we look at the pre-COVID times, which is all the way from 2012 to 2018. There was a time when the market is still trying to absorb the impact of the stringent cooling measures such as TDS style that was introduced in 2013 and or the ABSD that started introduced to the market in 2011. So for a good many years, we have seen that the market has trend downwards and price found its base sometime in 2018, pre-COVID. Then COVID came. Of course, COVID shocked the market for a while, a few months and a short while. Okay, so for that few months, suddenly there is a high demands for property because everybody works from home. So if you stay in a smaller house, you want a bigger house.
That's right.
So that's where the demand actually start to surge and property price start to rise. And that is the time where I call it recovery. And right now we are in 2025. And 2025, to me, is like a boom year. So let me just continue to talk about this boom season. You know, I say 2025 is a boom season and it just started. And there's still a lot of leg for this run. Okay, if you witness 2025 highest transaction prices, this is it. All right, it's CCR have actually crossed 3,008 for projects like Upper House at Orchard Boulevard, more than 3,006 for Oreo, and more than 3,591 for River Green. And you know, our CR, which is like City Fringe, have also crossed 3,005 for Promenade Peak and 3,003 for One Marina Gardens, and the Ori, more than $3,000 per square foot. Seems like the CCR and RCR is quite close.
Gap is very near.
And how about OCR? OCR have crossed 2,881 for Alta and Park Town Residence, 2,006 plus, and Lentor Central Residence, 2,005 plus. We have not seen all these numbers before, you know. This is like records high, yes. But I got to tell you again, what I see is this is the beginning of boom time. And it's just the beginning. Yes, and there are reasons why so. Let me explain to you 5 reasons. 5 reasons behind this record-breaking year. And there's still more leaks for this bull run. Okay, number 1 reasons is about this. Yes, strong gains in financial market. When we talk about financial market, we talk about stock market. Okay, for you guys out there, if you are trading in the stock market, all right, you're laughing at yourself all the way to the banks, right? All right, just look at STI itself. The Singapore Straits Times Index performance have actually garnered more than 15% gain since beginning of year till now in October. All right, from 3,008 STI index to 4,000, more than 4,003 STI index. Is it a magnificent growth?
That is a huge growth.
Never seen this kind of growth before for a long time.
Correct. It's
for
like
the Singapore stock market.
It's like a consistent uptrend.
Is there a reason for this?
I think, yes, there is. I think government has been focusing a lot on the market.
Bringing back the liquidity into the market.
Yes.
I mean, well, in addition to the global stock market boom, Singapore market has also put in, the Singapore government has also put in some effort to increase liquidity in the Singapore stock market. As much as $5 billion that is allocated for equity market development program. All right, that is to boost the STR liquidity. And MAS have appointed some fund managers like Avanda, Fullerton, and JP Morgan's to manage this. The initial of 1.1 billion has been allocated, all right, into buying up the shares in the market, which provides the liquidity. And with further round that is planned. And so if there's $5 billion allocated, right now it's only 1.1 billion, it's only 20%. There's still 80% to go, which means there's still leg for growth for the Singapore stock market.
That's right. So lots of potential there to even rise further.
That's explain why the skyrocket COE prices are. So Eugene, I know that you have just purchased your Category B EV.
Yes, yes.
How much you pay for your COE?
Wow. My COE at the time is 119,000.
Was that a record back then?
It was the record back then, but I think this record is now broken.
So they say the high will be the next low.
So I make money.
All right. You make money because of COE.
COE, yes.
Which is right now 141,000. Congratulations, you make some good money. But do you know that your car is depreciated? So it actually didn't break money lah.
Yeah.
All right. Having said that, all right. Funny thing is, even with COE is so high, people are all flocking to the car showroom. Why?
I think a lot of new models are coming on stream. More and more new models. Interesting. I think also a lot of people have been holding back their replacement.
Right. So you make money from the stock market, you take your profit to buy cars.
It's
do you know another things that people who make money from the stock market will buy?
What? Property, of course.
Yeah. So buyers are also flocking to the show flats. That's why you see the project show flat is crowded with people and the take-up rate is so high. So it all comes from that cost where there is strong financial market spill over to the car industry and also the housing industry.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I think that's one of the good reasons.
Yeah.
Hey, actually talk about COE. Now it's 141,000, right? All right. Do you know that we pay stamp duty also when we buy a property? So it's quite equivalent. You buy a car, you pay COE. You buy a property, you pay stamp duty.
It's both are tax.
So if the stamp duty is 141,000,
Yeah.
what is the property price?
I think if you work backwards, you could possibly get that's a buyer stamp duty, you can probably get a property that's over 3 million. Yeah.
Right.
Over 3 million.
So with
3.3.
141,000, that's like how many percent of the car price? Wow. If COE is 141,000, how many percent of the car price? Like for your car?
Oh, it's 60% of my car price.
So you actually pay a tax of 60%. So for those who are buying car, it's like paying 60% ABSD. It's like foreigner buying Singapore property.
Yeah.
And people still buy car.
Well, it's a necessity. Not that we would like to pay this amount, but it's like...
But if you
No
buy
choice.
property, your stamp duty of 141,000 can allow you to purchase something like more than $3 million property. And that's like how many percent stamp duty?
It's about 6%.
Right, 5 to 6%. Okay, which is like more value to buy property.
Well, certainly it's a potential for future appreciation. Yeah, you're investing in your growing your health, your wealth, right? Asset enhancement, asset progression.
Okay, so that explains why the bull run is still the beginning phase for the property market. So the second reason is pent-up demand. Okay, pent-up demand for property. Right, for the longest time, the control of housing did not give approval for all the government land sales that is sold to the developer for its launch.
Yeah.
Until last year, November, we
there
see
was-
a tsunami of launches.
There was this traffic jam, right?
Right. So usually, government land sales that is bought by developer will take about 6 months before its launch. That is for private condos. However, the post-COVID have experienced delay in their approval, which will take up to about a year
year.
or even more before its launch. So there was a big wait for that launch in 2023 and 2024. And eventually in 2024, the huge launch came in November 2024 with 6 project launch at that month of November last year with 3,375 unit launch, 2,894 units sold. That's equivalent to 85% sold.
True.
This phenomenon still continues now.
Yes.
In fact, in August 2025 this year, there were 2,488 unit launch, which is 6 projects also. And right now, it witnessed 2,275 units sold. That represents what? 91.4% sold, even higher take-up rate.
Wow.
So it means that this momentum is still very strong in 2025. I tell you, it's not stopping yet. Because right now, before the year ends, we still have a couple of projects that is in the pipeline.
Yes.
This is so much opportunity still in the market in 2025. All right. So we witness strong take-up rates from the new home launches. Look into the next 2 years, 2026 and 2027. What is expected to come on stream is also as strong like this year, 2025. In fact, we look at the GRS that is sold yet to launch next year, it has already reached 9,924 units. All right, for the following years in 2027, 7,130 units. And you know those GRS that is not sold yet, not launched yet, its estimated unit in 2026 is about 1,009 and about 4,000 in 2027. And what this means is the next 2 years will still be very busy, boom time, because the number of launches will hit about 10,000. All right, unlike post-COVID, it's only about 4,000 plus, 7,000 plus, 6,000 plus. But 2025 this year we have witnessed more than 10,000. 2026 will be more than 10,000. 2027 will be more than 10,000, which means this year onwards is boom time. It's not trough, it's boom. Because trough time for launches has already over.
Good.
Okay, so we have witnessed more new launches, higher take-up rates, and of course, the volume of transaction, higher take-up rate means more. Okay, so first half 2024 last year, compared to first half 2025 this year, we already seen, 2.38 times the take-up rate, the number of units sold for new launch. So the market is very strong, driven by new launches. Okay, let's go into reason number 3, why the boom market has more leg to run.
Well, has a lot to do with interest rates, right? First, practically everyone borrows from the bank.
Yeah, you leverage
You
for
leverage off,
property
yeah.
purchase and ownership and investment.
Correct. You leverage off the finance.
And now the cost of borrowing is
It's
getting
come
lower
down.
and lower.
Yes.
All right. And this Fed rate cuts, it has already triggered, yeah. And there is expected to be 2 more rounds of rate cuts before the year ends by most analysts.
Wow.
And having said that, currently the T-bills have actually came down to as low as 1.45% for 1st October 2025. And looking at the trend, I think it will continue to fall. And T-bills actually leads to lower mortgage rates. And if you are taking mortgage rate, probably flexi loans rates is more favorable for you than to fix your interest rate. All right, because interest rates are still falling. Don't you agree? Okay, and every time when interest rate fall, what happens to the property transaction?
I think increase is a
Number of transactions will naturally increase when interest rates start to fall. This is very normal. You can actually borrow at such a low cost. And why not? And at the same time, if transaction volume pick up, what happens to property price?
well, surely prices will go up.
Is interest rate continue to fall? Yes. So price will continue to pick up, demand will continue to pick up, which explain the boom has more leg to run. Okay, let's move into number 4 reasons. What's the number 4 reason?
Population growth.
Okay, population growth. What was the last statistics?
So Singapore population in the recent times has crossed 6 million. And it's
6.11.
Yeah, we are now at 6.11.
Last year is 6.04.
Yes.
This year is 6.11.
So we are expected to grow further. As we move along towards 2030, right?
Hey, but Singapore very low birth rate, less than 1, So why is it continue to grow?
So we have a constant flow of PRs as well as new citizens.
Well, let's look into why we need to grow population first. Eugene, why the country needs to have increase in population?
Fundamentally, we don't have natural resources, so human capital is extremely important to a country like us, right? And so therefore, if we don't produce enough, then we will have to so-called convert.
So increase in population can be either from childbirth
or from PRs and new citizens.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's import of population?
Conversion.
Conversion. Okay, so the mission of Singapore Population White Paper is 6.5 to 6.9 million. All right, by the year
2030.
Hey, that is like 5 years later.
Yes, correct.
It's quite near.
Yeah, but the government has also clarified that we are unlikely to hit 6.9. So, but anyway, we're moving towards there. So we'll probably definitely be higher than 6.11.
6.11 to 6.5 at minimum. So it's achievable.
Achievable. Yeah.
In the next 4 years.
At least 4 years. Correct.
So 1 year is about 100K.
Yeah.
Increase in population. And that comes from childbirth and also from conversion of foreigners to become SPR and new citizens.
Yes.
Well, if you look at the numbers that is from SingStack, 6.11 million population, that is in June 2025. The projection to 2030 is 6.5 to 6.9 million. Big composites comes from conversion. Okay?
I would say so.
Well, if you look at at least for the last 10 years, we actually witness a very consistent new SPR and new citizen. Okay? For example, in 2024, the number of Singapore permanent residents is new Singapore permanent residents about 35,000. New citizen is like 22,000. So if we add up both together, it's 57,000. Almost 60,000 increase in SPR, new SPR and new citizen. All right, amazing. So when there is an increase in SPR and new citizen, 60,000, what would they do?
They buy a property.
Why they buy a property?
Because if you're a foreigner, you have to pay 60% ABSD.
So if you are SPR,
you only pay 5%.
So from 60% drop to 5%, is there a big discount?
Saving.
Oh, there's a big
discount.
Singapore property discount for you.
That's right.
You actually shave off 55% additional buyer stamp duty. That's a lot.
A lot.
So it's like an incentive to become Singapore PR. Excellent. What about Singapore citizen? New Singapore citizen.
New citizen don't have to pay ABS.
So for the longest time, you have been renting property and now you should be an owner rather than a tenant. So that's what most foreigner does when they convert to become new Singapore permanent resident and also citizen. That's 60,000 a year.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a lot of property needed to house them.
Yes.
That's why it explains that the boom is very stable and consistent because there is natural demand from all the new SPR and new citizens.
So it's not just the demand from them, it's in addition to the local demand that Singaporeans are already buying, right? This is an add-on.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move to reason number 5. Everyone is hungry for property.
Yes, we can see it from HDB flats all the way to private
let's talk
property.
About BTO.
Yes.
BTO subscription is oversubscribed at popular estate by as much as 6 times to 8 times. Wow. Which means for 1 unit of BTO,
there's 8 buyers.
Flats.
8 potential buyers.
There's 6 to 8 buyers.
Yeah.
So you call that chill, right? It's like 6 to 8 chill for 1 unit, right?
Yes.
Of course, that's popular estate, but there's also further away estates.
Yeah. In generally, they are still oversubscribed, but the number could be more moderate.
Okay, well, some of the estates, popular estates, there's only one. Perhaps it's smaller units. It's like, it's not the 4-room flats, it's not the 5-room flats, it's the 2-room flat or the 3-room flats. That's why the number of subscription is not as high.
Yeah, it could also be in very new areas, right? Where because in these new areas, the HDB is actually building a lot of flats. So if they launch another BTO project in an area that's already full of flats, then of course the take-up rate will not be significantly oversubscribed.
Right. So that's about BTO flats. Okay. How about new condos?
So new condos, you can see from all the news, right? Right. Like for example,
when we say oversubscribed for new condo launch, we meant that the number of checks collected exceed the number of units available for sales by
How many times? Yeah,
3 to 4 times. 3 to 4 times. So BTO is 6 to 8 times for popular estates. On average, for new condo launch is 3 to 4 times. Like Penrith, 4.1 times. Sky Holland, 3.2 times. This is the most recent launch in this past few months. All right. So that is like everybody wants to have a piece of the new launches. Okay. Now, from BTO to new launch, what about government land sales?
Government land sales also, we are seeing developers very hungry.
Also oversubscribed.
Yes,
by about 5
5
times.
times.
Because if you look at all these government land sales for 2025, on average, there is 5 developers bidding for one GRS site. So, for one successful GRS site, 4 developers will be disappointed. So, they will go for the next.
Yeah.
So, in order for them to secure land site, which means they have to put in more bid,
Yes.
or rather put in a higher bid.
A more aggressive bid.
Right. BTO, you don't have to put in bid.
No, it's strictly based on your queue number.
Okay. Check submission for new launches.
Also based on your
queue number, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But for government land sale, it's not based on queue number, right?
It's based on price.
It's not first come, first serve.
Yeah.
It's not tikam that you got it. It's
Yeah.
based on price.
Yes.
So if the developer if they have really sold all their land parcel, they will be hungry for land, right?
Correct. Because it's a basic ingredient in their production line.
Okay, so if they're hungry for land, if they really want to buy, they have to pay higher. So that explains new record land price. I mean, seriously, if we zoom in here, okay, let's zoom in. For first half 2024, okay, this is Holland Drive. This is the kind of price in Holland Drive and River Valley Green. Right now, Holland Green and Holland Link, this is the kind of price, which is like 1,002 to 1,004 for last year, second half 2024. And this is like Bayshore and Chuan Grove, similar price like CCR versus OCR.
Yeah.
What's the logic? This is OCR. This is CCR and this is CCR. What's the logic? No more logic.
No logic. It's based on the developer's urgency to secure the site. So normally you find that the one that successfully bid for it, they will be offering.
So now this year, first half 2025, 9 sites again. This is CCR. And now this site here is OCR. Once again, in Lakeside and in Chuan Grove, these are the kind of prices that we have witnessed. Okay, so in a nutshell, new record land prices for OCR. So what would this mean?
So in summary, if developers bid aggressively for the land, it will result in higher land costs, right? So you have to be aggressive to get the site. So if their land cost is high and you factor in construction costs, they will have to launch at higher prices in the future. So if I land today, it's not sell today. I have to sell maybe 1 year later, all right? I can only launch 1 year later.
So in a nutshell is we already have a crystal ball on our hand because we know what is the price that developer bought now. So in the next 1 year or more, when they launch the project, it will be at a higher benchmark price than the past.
Correct.
Okay. But it also depends whether there is higher price acceptance by the buyers or not.
Yes. So as I say, it takes 2 hands to clap, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the developers' confidence comes from gauging the response, right? So if I up the price and the buyers accept it, that means there is market acceptance.
So right now on the ground, the demand is high.
Yes.
The market is hot and people can still afford the pricings that is set. And developers have 5 years to sell before ABSD kick in. So there is enough time for them to offload all the sites based on the current high take-up rates.
Yes.
And history has shown that developer will continue to set benchmark prices due to higher price acceptance from buyers. And over again, this is playing out, from CCR to RCR to OCR. Every region actually experience new benchmark prices.
Correct.
Okay. So what do you think next year price will be for CCR? Right now, on average, is about 3,002. So what about next year?
This is average, huh? All right. So it could well hit 3, 4, 3, 5.
Oh, we already touched there.
Yeah.
The highest price
The highest price
there.
already.
This on average should be around 3, 4, 3, 5. Yeah, possible. What about RCR? Right now,
RCR will easily hit 2.9.
right now,
Right
average
now
is
it's
about
2.7.
yeah. Will easily probably cost $3,000. Okay, how about OCR right now is 2,002 plus.
So you'll go to mid 2,000 easily.
Probably 2004, 2005. Okay, on average. So the market is really evolving and it's continuing to evolve and things is moving very fast. And if we are not moving fast enough,
You'll miss the opportunity.
we miss the opportunity or we are not able to ride on that momentum.
Yes.
So I would say that riding on property momentum is one of a very clear strategy for property wealth. And actually 2025 is still not over.
There's still some more to come.
So our advice is for those who are sitting on the sideline, you got to take actions. And every quarter we tell you to take actions. If you have not taken actions, every quarter you listen to our analytics. It's not bringing you anywhere. But of course, 2025 has not ended yet. All right, before you get priced out in 2026, let me tell you what is the affordability factor that you probably are so concerned about. Actually, it's not difficult to own private new condos in Singapore.
Correct.
Okay, based on the current prices for OCR new launch, RCR new launch, and CCR new launch, we have prepared a table to show you guys from 1 bedroom all the way to 5 bedrooms based on the current selling prices, all right, of the 3 different regions versus the down payment. So if you are looking at positioning yourself to ride on the property momentum, these are the down payment that's required, which is like a 1 bedroom in OCR, 363,000 plus. This is CPF and cash.
This is the 25% portion and the stamp duty.
So if you have sold away your HDB flat that is amounting to 800,000 proceeds, all right?
You
That
have
800,000 can be cash and CPF. You have enough funds to
the
buy
funds.
a OCR 1 bedroom all the way to a 5 bedroom,
Yes.
which is also about 800,000 plus.
Yeah.
Of course, if you have sold away your HDB that nets you 1.4 million proceeds,
Wow. You get it.
then you can go for RCR 5 bedroom even
Yes.
with a down payment of 1.325 million. Of course, if you have some savings to top it up, you can even buy a CCR 5 bedroom
Yes.
with a down payment of 1.7 million
Or if you have cashed out of your private property, right?
and right size.
And right size, you can pick up a new, nice TCR condo.
So actually, for most upgraders and right sizer, it's not difficult to own a new condo. So what are opportunities still in 2025, Eugene?
Okay, so let's just spotlight some of the projects that we like you to consider. We start from the left. So CCR, in the CCR region, One Sophia area. All right, there's collective at One Sophia. So a 1 bedroom ranges from 1.2 mil all the way to a 3 bedroom is 2.8.
This project is very near to the Picot MRT station.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's right smack in town and within the SMU area.
Right. So it's still below $3,000 per square foot. So earlier on we said CR.
Yeah, it's exceeded 3,000, well above 3,000. So this is a worthy consideration if you look at a per square foot basis. So if we move to RCR, there's Bloomsbury Residences, right? They're in the media circle area, which is very near to Mediacorp. right? And also the Tanglin school there, right, which is very popular.
Right, so 3-bedroom is also about 2004 PSF.
Correct. So if you're looking at PSF, it's about 2004. It's still
a worthy buy.
worthy buy considering the rising per square foot prices in.
Yeah, they always say next year probably you will hit close to $3,000.
It will exceed 3,000, close to exceed 3,000.
What about next project?
So again, One Marina Gardens is RCR. It's actually just on the fringe of the city.
Like a CCR.
Just cross the road, right?
But like I said earlier on, the
Yeah.
highest price achieved, RCR and CCR is almost the same.
Yes, correct. So it's a first mover advantage over there, right?
Right, so at the marina,
Very near to Gardens by the Bay, right? So you can get a 2-bedroom for about 1.8 and a 4-bedroom about 4.6. A 3-bedroom is still doable at about close to 2.5 mil.
okay.
Right?
Next is Promenade.
Yes, Promenade Peak, very popular Zion Road area. So Zion Promenade area. So we have a variety there. 1-bedroom is 1.4, a 2-bedroom is 1.8, a 3-bedroom is 2.8. And of course, the larger units you'll be paying between 4.4 to 6.2 for 4 and 5-bedroom.
Okay, so for RCR property like this is still holding about 2007 PSF for 3-bedroom unit. I just look at 3-bedroom, all right? So about Canberra Crescent, which is an OCR.
Yes, OCR, I think primarily if you have considering upgrading from your HDB flats, these are worthy areas, right? Canberra Crescent, 1.3 for a 2-bedroom,
It's still below $2,000 per square foot. All right.
The 3-bedroom is 1.5, very hard to find, right? At this price nowadays. And also 4-bedroom, if you like a bigger size unit, is about just over 2 million.
Okay, last but not least in Cassia.
Cassia is in the Foreign Drive, Pasir Ris area. All right, so 1.5 for a 2-bedder. A 3-bedder is about 2 mil, and 2.5 for a 4-bedroom.
All right, so these are the hot buys project spotlight that could have zero in for you if you are looking into riding the property momentum in 2025.
Yes, that's right. So do your sums, talk to a ERA trusted advisor. All right, we have all the tools and the tech to run you through the numbers, all right, and also work you through the timeline.
Well, that's it for 3Q 2025 property updates.
Yes.
Eugene.
So do scan this QR code and do leave us your feedback as we wrap up the show. We just want to wish everyone a great week ahead. Stay focused, stay invested.
All right, so before the year ends, shop for your property, have a great shopping trip and holiday seasons. Merry Christmas in advance, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a powerful session. Thank you, Marcus and Eugene, for those sharp, forward-looking insights. And once again, a big thank you to HitVan for sponsoring the furniture in our studio. What makes them different? You don't have to shop around. From Japanicum to mid-century chic, HitVan brings all the styles together in one place. Whether you're styling a new home or refreshing a space, you'll find pieces that fit right in. Scan the QR code below to explore HitVan and see how easy it is to elevate your home. Thanks again for joining us on Realty Talk. We'll see you at the next Ultimate Consumer Seminar. And until then, keep learning, keep investing smart, and keep building your future with ERA.